everyone. We are back. It's
We are
nearly Thanksgiving. This is me looking at the clock there. A lot of
the
things to be
23rd.
thankful for. I'm thankful very much for video games. One of the video games I really wanted to be more thankful for this year. Um, Payday 3, bit of an unfortunate situation there with Starbreeze Studios. Long story short, we don't got to delve into a lot of the YouTube videos do and explain it probably better than I will trying to remember them. They owe the publisher a lot of money due to the way the deal they signed with them was structured. I don't think they're going to meet that goal. They're not making any money. um, they haven't been for a year. The game's still really not where it needs to be worth its full price. A lot of people think not a lot of content there, not a lot of replayability is the big thing.
Yeah,
But
it's
uh, some good payday news, aside from Starbreeze might lose the IP and the rights to Payday, and what would that mean for the game? We don't know. But some good
yeah,
news coming.
yeah.
I'll let you take that.
So yesterday they released the trailer for the World Bank heist, which is always a fun heist.
First World Bank.
Um, it wasn't a gameplay trailer; it was just a cinematic of one of the characters watching TV, flipping through some channels, and one of the channels I flipped through and stopped at for about 3 or 4 seconds was a Hotline Miami playthrough, the old game. So hopefully that means that Jacket's coming in the near future. So
He
because
he was
Jacket, go.
he was teased in the last update. I believe the Houston Breakout update. In some background imagery, they had mugshots of
Mhm.
him. I think, um, or something like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
Jacket's back. All right.
you know,
He's right up there. You know, top 10 favorite psychopaths in media.
yeah,
I don't know where you have him. I have him number two.
top five.
Yeah, I have him right behind Claude Speed from the second and third Grand Theft Auto games. Also a
That's
mute who wore a leather jacket.
hot damn.
You want to play a good psychopath? Fucking don't speak.
Yeah,
Unless you're Ryan
that
Gosling, and then you just come off doing that little coy smile thing where you're literally me. But anyway, moving on. Some other media, which is also
little Debbie Downer.
a little bit of a downer. Yeah, we're starting off with downers. Everybody's like, I watch this podcast to be sad. All 11 of you who are probably going to watch this. Our last one got 17. I mean, maybe we hit 20.
Hot
Maybe we hit 20 one of
damn,
these days.
man.
Our channel has 2,400 cumulative views in the entire time that it's existed. So
That's pretty good.
we're in
That's
a
pretty
hyper
good.
growth market space.
Well, I mean, hey, we're
Yeah,
especially once we get more stuff done, like we'll have
we're obviously not making
a
any money
niche market.
doing this. It's for the love of the game, you know. But anyway,
Exactly.
mm, somebody who doesn't love the game anymore. Motor Trend Studios shutting down, which effectively means the end of Roadkill, Hot Rod Garage, Roadkill Garage. Dirt Every Day died a long time ago. Engine Masters ended when Steve Brule retired earlier this year, but a lot of their shows, I think, still have some episodes, maybe like a full season yet to air on their app, Amazon, Discovery Plus, and like just the Discovery Channel on TV. I don't know. I haven't had regular TV in like 15 years, so I don't know how cable
Yeah,
works anymore with shit. But
yeah. It's been a
yeah, there
minute.
are there are
Jesus.
still episodes yet to be seen. Um, but unfortunately, after they do air and probably continue to run as reruns, who knows how long? Because we don't know what's going to happen to the channel and the app and stuff. Hopefully they stay on
Yeah.
Amazon, or I mean, let's be honest, they'll eventually all end up uploaded to YouTube by third-party people who,
Which that's what
yeah,
I'd rather have.
yeah, it's
Makes
if all of the TV apps on the smart TV were as easy to use as the YouTube one, I wouldn't hate that everything was on apps. But if it was just easy enough to get it all through one, that'd be the way. But anyway, Yeah, that's part of the bigger. They're under the umbrella of the Warner Media Group, Warner Brothers, and I mean they've been like they killed the DCU. They keep giving The Rock $400 million to make flops. I, they've got absolutely no business sense whatsoever for like the past 5 6 years at least. They
Yeah.
completely canned that Batgirl movie that was finished.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
been
It's
hemorrhaging money for a while, and Disney is like, hey, this is not okay. So you know, this is the fire sale. They're killing off anything that costs money. Uh, Not sure particularly why
unfortunately.
Roadkill. I mean, they had sponsors and always seemed to work pretty well within a budget and to do things pretty okay. But I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot we are
yeah.
being
Fan
aware of.
favorites. I mean, Freiberger and Finnegan. They have their own YouTube channels. Subscribe to them. I actually recently bought some David Freiberger stickers in the hopes of winning that Camaro he's giving away. Probably won't, but fuck it. I bought some stickers I liked anyway. I put one on my phone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
right there with my Pennzoil whoring. Pennzoil sponsor us. Anyway, but yeah, that'd be an interesting experience to go through and talk about because I still have seen Mr. Regular's video sort of explaining it, but I don't understand how the YouTubers who do car giveaways how that works, how they make money, how does that I don't understand any of that. The legalities of it, I just don't. But it would have been
Wow.
interesting to have my buddy Tim on here because he actually did win a YouTuber car giveaway. He's got a pretty sweet Camaro that used to be the pace car at a local racetrack. That I wanted
Oh,
him
hell
on here
yeah.
to talk about it, but I haven't heard from
Adult.
him all day, and it's things happen, adulting, it's life.
Yeah.
Schedules don't always line up, but that would have been cool to talk about. Maybe the next one, don't know.
We'll
Maybe
figure it
maybe I
out.
will win Freiburger's Camaro, and then he and I can
Hey.
talk about it. We could just do a podcast where
Yeah.
we talk about our Camaros that we won. Um, but yeah,
That'd be wild.
that those are the first two things I had.
I mean,
Pivot to you.
so it's in the corner right there next to a bunch of other shit, but went and recently got fitted for a suit because I'll be going to Germany for 2 weeks to go visit some family. Um,
What what
Going to
what
go.
color suit is it?
It's gray.
Gray.
Yeah.
You're not a black suit James Bond kind of guy. Just gray.
Well, I already had a gray sports coat.
I
I
mean,
just
is it gray or is it slate?
it's like slate,
Slate. All
very
right. Yeah.
dark, very dark
You
gray.
a slate guy. Yeah.
So yeah, got the rest of the suits getting tailored right now to fit me properly because I'll be going to an opera. Because if you're in Germany and Europe, you might as well do an opera. Because fuck it.
Yeah. Opera's really something else. It's not quite a musical. It's not exactly a play. I think you'll like it though. It's good.
Yeah, definitely experience.
Yeah. Speaking.
While I'm there, I'm also gonna go to Stuttgart to check out the Porsche Museum. We already got
Stuttgart.
tickets for that,
Nice.
so I'll take pictures. And then the in Pearl, Pearl, I don't know how you fucking say it. It looks like Cologne.
It's Cologne. Yeah.
Oh, is it Cologne? Okay, I
Yeah.
thought it was something here. But they
Cologne.
have a yeah, Germany. But they also have a Michael Schumacher museum. Go visit that because I'm trying to not make it too much because
Yeah.
some of my family's also going. But I'm like, well, Cologne also has a really pretty cathedral right next door,
I mean, yeah.
so we're gonna do both.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to get out and not even the car centric side of it to just go do some touristy shit every now and then.
Yeah,
Take lots of pictures again so I can live vicariously through looking at them because, I'll probably never go to Germany.
yeah. The tickets are kind of expensive, but
Yeah,
it's also the way I'm going. I don't have to pay for a hotel, so that's a huge portion of the cost as well.
yeah. I take that back. There's
So,
a couple reasons I would go to Germany. The only one I can think of right now, though, is, someday as we're big warehouse project thing, if we're running all of our shit boxes around the Nürburgring to see what they can do. I mean, I'd probably go for that.
Yeah,
Um,
shit
least
boxes.
of all to make sure they all stayed running, and secondly, I mean, who else would honestly drive some of these things that we're gonna build?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Ugh, my white
base.
trailer trash tissues.
I mean that's everyone does it that way. Fuck
Ugh.
you, Kleenex. I don't need them in a box. They come on a roll.
Also, they're expensive. They're
Yeah.
really expensive.
Why? They're just paper. But anyway,
Yeah,
um,
but
if
yeah, I
you,
mean that's the thing is some of our cars definitely would make sense to take to the Nurburgring because
yeah,
some of them are gonna push boundaries.
some of them would just kind of be comical. Like I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I think the Manta Opel would be great.
oh
That'd
yeah,
be like, especially in Germany where the movie,
Manta,
originated.
Manta.
Exactly, that'd be fun.
Don't copyright strike me, whoever the hell made that song in Germany in the 80s. I don't remember from the credits. But, in keeping with our shitboxes that we have to keep running, I did some work on the Raptor this past week, which was,
Oh yeah.
yeah, just part of the reason I'm a little sore and kind of tired. Um, Usual stuff, oil change, I mean, you gotta do those. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I think happened is that back earlier this year, around April,
Mm.
May, possibly, I was doing a bunch of like service work on it to try to get it ready for its summer away from my garage, where I was on Orcas and working and living out there. And one of the things I did for reliability reasons, because I was also taking a lot of road trips then, because I went to go get like 4 different cars, fucking states away. Um,
Yeah, yeah, you
so
were going
reliability
everywhere.
was the chief concern there. I swapped out it's this little finned aluminum oil filter adapter. It goes right on the front of this Ford 6.2 block, and it takes 2 coolant lines from the lower radiator hose because it circulates coolant through it as a cooler, I guess. I don't know how well it works. Probably not that well at all. But
I
um,
mean, it's one of
I
those
had
weird tech things to try.
yeah, I had pinholes in one of my little hose barbs for the lower hose, so I bought a new adapter and I swapped that out. When I did that, I lost some oil, and I just put it on and then spun a new filter on there, just a Motorcraft
Hmm.
FL820S, uh, and yeah, I topped it up with oil and paid it no mind, and I think what had happened is it was either on the threads a little funny, or something
Oh,
went wrong with
yeah.
the gasket on it, uh,
Hmm.
because all summer, at various times, when I would check the oil or open the hood or anything, I'd notice it was like a mist of like, well, I thought it was like power steering fluid or something, just like all over the front of the engine. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? How does this keep getting dirty? Like, am I leaking oil somewhere? Never thought to check, the oil filter. Um, but sure enough, I'm pretty sure that under heavy load, wide open throttle stuff, there was a fine mist of oil varnish just going out the filter, probably the top of it, and just all over the front of the engine, which is now clean and has a filter on it that is secured properly. I checked, and yeah, but the main thing that brought that up, I was concerned when I drained the oil to change it because Ford Raptor 6.2 V8 takes 7.5 quarts of oil. I drained out 3.
Yeah, that's
I was
very
concerned.
worrying.
I was like, oh. Keeping in mind, I never had any noticeable issues or any drop in oil pressure, so I think we sneaked through on this one, and that's okay. I'm definitely going to be checking my catch cans and my oil level a lot more often now, though, just to monitor and keep an eye on that, because that's my baby,
Yeah,
and I love it. I'm gonna be buried in that thing. Keep that fucker forever. And that engine has to go in a GT40 kit car at some point when I, then Godzilla swap the Raptor.
yeah,
But
yeah.
my gauges, yeah. Recently, you were on Discord on webcam with me when I was procrastinating fixing my tachometer, which the needle fell off of, um, and I ended up I was like, you know what? Let me go to YouTube. Actually, just pull up a video. Let me see how hard it is to get this thing out. It's not that hard at all. Uh, you remove 2 bolts, pop a trim ring off, take 4 bolts out, and unplug the cluster. The whole thing comes out. And to my surprise and delight, it was very easy to just pop the clear plastic right off of it and super glue the
Which
needle
is,
back on, and then pop it back
yeah,
together.
that's
And that shit works great now. It's fixed.
that's the most surprising thing is the front
Yeah.
plastic comes off.
Yeah, just
It's like, normally they're like super glued on, so you're never gonna
yeah,
get
they're
them off.
adhesive and like sealed, so the dust and shit doesn't get in there. Ford just like, nah, pop clips. There's like 6 of them.
That's, but that worked out in your favor.
It was. Why would anyone ever spend, $300 for a new F-150 cluster? Because good luck finding the Raptor specific one, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and if you took, if I'd taken it to a Ford dealership for that, they would have ordered me a new cluster. It would have been like a $1,200 repair. 'Cause it's like $800 to swap a cluster. Because then they're like, oh, we got to program it too. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to do any of that shit. So instead of spending any money at all, I spent, what, 25 minutes from starting to
Yeah.
finished and it's working. Because
Yeah.
super glue dries really fast. But yeah, I fixed one of the things wrong with it. And then today, Saturday, I completely spaced and totally forgot that I had an appointment at 11 to get it to a tire shop for them to replace all my dead tire sensors. So that light goes away.
Ooh.
So that's still gonna be on for at least a while. So,
Mm.
we're humans. We make mistakes. I made one today.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the big reasons I've been distracted and not thinking about the Raptor and other things is a little bit more gaming news. How good is Stalker 2, dude?
It's
It's oof.
excellent.
I'm I'm
I
I'm
It
very
has the
into it.
right amount of jank.
Huh?
It has the right amount of jank.
It has the right amount of jank, specifically like Slav jank, that makes it characterful and personable, and you know, it's
Yeah.
just a little guy. I like the game. Uh, it is difficult. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah.
supposed to be hard. It's a stalker game. It's pretty unforgiving.
Yeah.
That
Because I'm
said,
at I'm at 50 deaths right now, and I just made it out of the starting area
I think I'm at
yesterday.
like 43.
Yeah.
Granted, like a third of those are dumb shit where it's like I missed my jump parkouring for some shit and fell to my death. You
Yeah.
know,
That does that.
like there's some, at least 2 or 3 of them are, can I swim in this water? Like, can I make it through this water? Like, no, you immediately drown. Stalkers can't swim. Um,
Now with it, especially how much gear they're carrying.
yeah, we did the math while I was playing it last night. I'm carrying around like 130 pounds of shit just at all times.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, oh,
It's
now,
a
now it makes
lot.
sense why this guy can only sprint for like 8 seconds at a time. I don't think I could sprint at all with 130 pounds of shit on.
Yeah. Especially when you're only hydrating with vodka and bread.
And sausage.
Yeah.
That
That's
who makes the sausage in the zone? Where does it keep coming from?
probably dogs.
Oh yeah, they're by far I think the most annoying thing in the zone. Like it's not
I don't
I'm
know.
as someone who like I'll out myself here and say it to all the real gamers. I never played the original Stalker games.
They're really
I'm
hard.
I'm only 31. I don't know how old I was when they came out, but I certainly did not have anything resembling a gaming PC until like 2 years ago. So I couldn't really back then. I didn't want to do it now because it's well documented what an absolute fucking nightmare they are to get running and get running well, and then adapt a control scheme to actually playing on like a modern gaming PC, which I'm gesturing at, even though I know no one can see it because I'm on the screen. Um, all of this. Um, yeah, so I never did that, but I watched other people play them. You know,
Yeah,
I
a lot
watch
of
people
good people
far
play them.
better at video games than me play them, and I, as a man, can admit I am not that good at video games. I play them to have fun, and I am
Yeah,
having a lot of fun with Stalker 2. Um,
yeah,
I
it's the right amount of difficult.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody. I believe I'm about halfway done just with the major set piece revelations and zone implications that have come about due to my playthrough. Apparently, there's like 4 different endings. Wonder which one I'll get. Don't know. Uh,
Have the fun.
yeah. Um, yeah, I'm having fun. I'm finding artifacts. I never use any of them because they. I know that in the old games there were some artifacts that were ridiculously OP. One of them used to give you just infinite sprint or infinite stamina. Like that's cool. That's great. I wish there was still game breaking shit in the game, but apparently in the modern AAA game world, that's a no no now. So there's not really any game breaking shit in this game.
Yeah,
I don't use any artifacts. I go get them. I sell them because I love that money. I love them coupons. Which incidentally, pro gamer tip for everybody out there: you can just fucking sell quest items immediately after getting them. Like you don't. I don't know if it's jank or a bug or something they're gonna fix in hot fixes or updates, but right now, on November 23rd, as whatever game build is live today, yeah, you can just sell sell every quest item you get. You'll magically have it for the cutscene. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Um, which I've been doing a lot. But yeah, had a lot of fun with that. I have seen a lot of videos so far, and by a lot I mean 3 or 4, talking about all the hot fixes that are coming out. The devs at GSC Game World are actually very um, involved in their Discord, and they're listening to a lot of user feedback. And one of the biggest things they've been talking about that I agree with is either nerfing the spawns of or nerfing like the health pool of the bloodsuckers because they are just
yeah,
absolute bullet sponges. You guys were on Discord with me while I was playing
yeah,
it last night. 14 shotgun slugs to down
yeah,
a bloodsucker.
yeah.
14
That
while
that's
I'm running
why.
and healing and trying to like get shit done, and it's chasing me halfway
Yeah,
across the map
yeah,
because
they're relentless.
yeah, because I don't know if anyone out there who's playing Stalker 2 has explored quite so much of the high level areas as I have, but like every abandoned building I went into last night. It happened like 6 times. You guys were here for like 5 of them. I go into an abandoned
Yeah,
building to go get a stash or whatever, you know, or just loot it or just look around and explore. And without fail, I'd hear the screeching and screaming, and then 2 bloodsuckers would spawn every time.
yeah,
Earlier or last night after you guys left, I was playing and just did some more like side quests and stuff. I was just running through a field in like the cordon. This is a field in like the middle of nowhere, and 2 of them were just in a field.
yeah. They're
Like,
they
why are there
are.
just 2 bloodsuckers? They historically hang out in dark, not well ventilated basements. Why are they in a field during the day?
Yeah, they're even my playthrough last night, I got chased by 2, and I found really the only way to deal with them is get some vantage point on them where they can't get up to you, either jumping on a rock or
Yeah, that's
um
how I was cheesing the arena in Rostock a little bit by doing that because there's a certain stack of crates in the arena you can get up to where nothing could reach you.
yeah,
Which, granted, that doesn't work when you're fighting against like human opponents in the arena, but that isn't something the gunplay and you know person on person combat in Stalker is amazing.
it's fantastic.
It's
Really well done.
oh, and the ambiance. But yeah, the mutants need fucking
Well, mainly just the bloodsuckers.
yeah.
Yeah, they need a nerf just because yeah, they have too much health. It's
Yeah.
yeah, really realistically whenever I see one, I just try and find the closest spot that I can get to where I know they can't get to.
Oh, I like
Because
doing
also they made the AI very smart in that they'll if they can't get to you for a certain period of time, they'll kind of run away, but they won't de-aggro from you. So they'll kind of hide from you and
Yeah,
wait for you
they run away
to.
and hide,
So
and then as soon as you
you
hop
can't just
down, they
wait
come
them
back
out.
out.
Yep. So it's a nightmare to try and face something.
That's why the dogs are annoying.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
because
be so
they
bad
attack
if it was like
two.
four. Well, I was gonna say like 4 or 5 dogs. I could handle that. Pull my pistol out, But
But
I'm
sometimes
playing
it's like,
last night, running somewhere on my way, just along the road, and 14, 14 goddamn dogs.
yeah, that's too much. That's too much.
Like you're telling me I'm this like legendary stalker? I've cleared out strongholds full of enemies and shit. Like I had some dogs on the road, killed him. What?
I mean,
But
that's
again,
like
there's a
the
this is post-apocalyptic RPG sort of Fallouty, but unlike Fallout, there's no like leveling structure.
no,
You don't
no.
level
You
up
just
and
get
suddenly become bullet immune. Like there's no
yeah,
you don't get
which is kind of nice.
you don't get better by progressing the game and playing the game. You get better by playing the game because you become a better game player, which is I like. It's good.
Yeah, you have to learn the mechanics,
Yeah,
get better gear. Like
getting
there
better
is,
gear is a good one. I went to all those journalist stashes, and my God,
yeah,
that was quite a
they
trip.
are.
And I had
They
a
gonna have a lot of good gear.
yeah, you weren't here for it, but I had a pants shittingly terrifying 2 kilometer walk back to the closest market with like 79 kilograms of shit. So
That
just like
that hap-
tippy toeing very slowly for it took like an hour. Like,
Yeah, I mean that happened to me today.
yeah, no fast
Sucked
travel in this
because
game.
yeah,
Well, sort of fast travel. You can find a guide at all the major kind of hub areas to take you to all the other ones, and then you can go out from there. But there's no Fallout fast traveling.
which is nice. I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
it really keeps the immersion going.
Mhm.
It makes
Yeah.
the
And I
game.
mean, contrary to how I've been playing it, which is trying to play like a Fallout game where I loot everything and then sell it, which I need to stop doing. Uh,
Yeah, it's.
I have
I'm.
stopped
I
doing
still
it.
do it.
I will say when you do play the game at around like 49, 50 kilograms, and you're still in your green bar, you can sprint for like a long time, and like running multiple kilometers like doesn't take that long. So
Yeah,
it's meant to be a lightweight game. I get the ethos of the stalker they're going for, not necessarily like high speed, low drag, but like if this whatever you're gonna loot or pick up isn't like helping you immediately in this situation, they're like, well then don't take it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You just start leaving stuff at your stash.
I had an issue where I couldn't expand my stash. You just like keep putting stuff lower and it just keeps expanding down.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. It's like wouldn't do
Huh.
that, but it seems to be fixed now. Just a quick save
Okay.
reload and it fixed. And I've had a couple bugs with the game. Nothing like T-posing characters or anything. Just like NPCs spawning weirdly that are sort of like blocking doors or then like
Mhm.
creating sort of buggy questing. I don't want to spoil anything by talking about the quest where it happened.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I haven't had any glitches like that. Mainly, I've just had some graphical glitches for textures and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, I had a wall
that's
texture flicker
that's
here and there, and
honestly
that's yeah.
still better than anything Bethesda's put out in the last 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody's falling
Like,
through maps or anything. You know?
like, yeah, everything works. It's
Yeah.
not Todd Howard. Everything just like everything actually
Yeah.
does.
Everything in Stalker actually does work as intended, except
Yeah.
I went to go loot a fancy shotgun from a stash, and then I found out it's currently bugged and not displaying. So,
Uh,
but
eh,
that's probably something they'll fix in a patch or a
yeah,
hot fix or
that's
whatever's coming,
so,
which I
yeah, I
have
was very
faith in them
huge.
because they put out a game and also like hit the ground running on it, and they're like, hey, we're here to not only
Yeah,
fix bugs and stuff, but yeah. I'm like, oh,
they sold a million copies in the first day. They're doing
yeah,
very well.
yeah.
Like
I
for
think a lot
selling.
of them are that 110 $10 Super One with all the extra equipment and stuff because it
Yeah,
really helps to
which
have that. I bought that
yeah,
one just cause. I'm like, well,
yeah,
there's more stuff. I want more stuff. But
yeah.
yeah,
I ended up buying the Ultimate Collector's Edition, but that doesn't get shipped out till I think March of next year. But
oh
that'll
yeah,
come with like an
you've got all the
artifact.
physical, like real
Yeah,
stuff coming.
yeah, yeah. I got the actual all the highest edition because I do thoroughly. I was pretty sure I was gonna really love the game because of everything I'd seen and
Yeah,
based on what they previously put out. So I went and I spent the money, which I'm glad because
yeah,
you actually can't get it now because I know Tanner tried to buy it yesterday night and it's sold out everywhere.
yeah. That's. I mean, if you have
It's
the
a
money
shame.
for it, and you think that even a little bit, you might want something or some of the stuff from one of those special editions,
Yeah,
always just buy it when it's pre-orderable and just pay the money because like we talked about this, like the only bit of video game kind of stuff I would have liked to have is like, and again I'm bringing him up again because it's a top psychopath, Claude Speed from GTA 2 and 3.
Hmm.
Way back when, this is maybe 2005, I was just on the Rockstar Games store website on my shitty dial-up computer, my Windows 98 fucking CRT monitor and shit, because we were poor Appalachians. Anyway, and I saw that in the Rockstar store they were selling a Claude Speed action figure. You know, this guy's little green khakis, his little dark blue sneakers, his leather jacket, came with a bunch of weapons in different hands and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I would buy that. And I saw that it was like $300, and I was like, that's ridiculous, man. I'll just like wait a while and buy one on eBay for $60. Yeah, we looked. They're like 3.5 grand on eBay, and like I'd never pay that for a piece of video game memorabilia ever. That's maybe like Artyom's watch from the first Metro.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Not the Nixie Tube watch that everybody geeks out
Yeah,
over. The one before that, the one that sort of looks like this watch. It was all,
regular. Yeah, regular watch.
yeah, it was had the lights on it and it had the green glow to it from the tritium or whatever, the radium maybe. Radium,
Probably
not
true.
tritium. Tritium's for gun sights and stuff. But yeah, that was cool. But I found that particular collectible from that physical collector's edition is like they were few and far between, and
Yeah,
everybody who bought them was like in the country they made the game in, and none of them have
yeah.
ever been for sale. So I found a few on like uh not Wish. What's the website where people make shit?
Oh, Etsy.
Etsy. I found some people
Yeah,
making some similar shit on Etsy, but I'm like, Etsy's hit or
yeah,
miss, you know?
yeah. It really in the way that yeah, you can sometimes you'll get very lucky.
Yeah,
Most of the time, it's usually you can be like, oh, you can tell this is Etsy.
yeah. That's why I never bothered buying. I mean, I bought a Johnny Silverhand figure. I think. Oh, I bought some. I bought you some keychains, and I bought myself a keychain from the CDPR store. But I never bothered like going on like Etsy and like buying cyberpunk shit because that's the last
Yeah,
FPS RPG I got really into and really absorbed in the world in, and I still love cyberpunk to this day. I haven't played it again because I feel like I've
it's
done everything in that game, but I still love the world
yeah,
and knowing about what's going on in it, and visually, aesthetically, I feel very at home there and pleased, and I feel very at home in the world of Stalker. There's something really calm and comfortable about the harsh, post-Soviet gloom of the zone.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I like it. I like spending time there.
yeah. It's definitely a lot better. It's a really well designed world. It feels alive.
The ambiance is great too, man. With the storms, when
Yeah,
it's not storming, when it's just raining, the sunny days look great. Um, the
and like
emissions,
yeah, which
when
I was about to talk about the emissions, which because that actually led to a really funny moment today when I was attacking an area and I was supposed to save some people.
oh
Well, I got the emission warning saying, "Hey, get inside. There's emissions coming." All of the enemies and the people I was supposed to rescue all just sprinted away from the building I was going into to a different building. And I was like, what? I thought it was, like, at first I thought it was a glitch, and I was like, wow, no, maybe it's not a glitch. Maybe it's actually, everyone's just like, no, fuck this. We're getting out of here.
Yeah, there's certain marked buildings as shelter,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of other buildings that qualify as shelter when it says get to shelter. And then I've learned through emissions and dying, and then there are some buildings that do not qualify as shelter.
Yeah, you need.
Mm. And emissions, I don't know if they're predetermined to happen at certain times
I don't
on a
know.
time scale, or as you make story progress, or what. But I do know that emissions reset anomalies,
Okay.
reset artifacts. So if you've previously
Oh,
stolen an artifact from an anomaly, you can go get it again after an emission. It'll
oh,
probably be
shit.
something different now. And yeah, I didn't know they actually played that factor. And again, I'd be interested to see in like a, not a dev blog, but maybe like a behind the scenes thing. How do the emissions trigger? What makes emissions happen? How to get a frame of reference for when they're gonna happen. That way, you don't end up like. Well, you and Tanner were both on here last night when I
Yeah.
was once again a little overweight and trying to get to some shelter just to sell some shit. And an emission warning came out, and it was like, get to shelter. And I was like, I can't run, and I'm 400 meters away. Well, we're going to die in this emission. So, yeah.
They are.
Yeah. And again, that's maybe, some people might look at that and say, oh, it sounds like you're just having a really frustrating time with this game. Why are you like, no, 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 no. There's a challenge, certainly. But it's a very rewarding challenge. This is an excellent positive feedback loop. I'm having a lot of fun playing the game. I don't want to not play the game. It's just there are some things about it that balance
But
tweak may
that's.
be needed, and that's about it.
But that's. But that's also like that's fine because the game just came out 3 days
Yeah,
ago.
it's been out for like
Um,
3 days, and it's like
so it's
how
totally fine.
how ridiculous is the skewed viewpoint now that we're
Yeah.
like, oh, a game came out a couple days ago. There's a few things wrong with it, but hey, that's great. Like we're so
Yeah.
used to games coming out and being completely fucking broken that like
Yeah.
the standard now is that, oh, a game's coming out, it's gonna be fucking broken. And
Yeah.
now it's like, well, I mean, granted, QA can't catch anything, but in the case of like Bethesda games, it's like, did QA catch anything at all?
I don't even think they have QA.
I wouldn't believe Bethesda has a QA
But
department.
I mean,
No play testers, no quality assurance. You know,
yeah.
either that or
But I mean,
they
that's the
do
thing
have them,
is
and they're just ignoring everything they say.
that also could be possible. But I mean, yeah, it definitely is a. I think we've talked about it before. It is a huge change because back in the day when a game went platinum, that was it. There was no more data getting put on that disc.
Yeah,
So you'd buy a PS2 game and
yeah,
some of them were just completely trash.
yeah. And if it went, as you say, if it went like platinum, say, well, for like a PS2 game went platinum, it would get sort of a special edition, and it would come out. And remember the old plastic
Yep.
clip cases? They would have the red header at the top, and it would say PlayStation
Yep.
2 Greatest Hits.
Yep.
So there's a whole collection of just the greatest hits of the PlayStation 2. They're all games that went platinum, and I had regular San Andreas and the greatest hits San Andreas because back then when I think we all played that disc so much it delaminated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That
played the
just got
disc until it
used.
broke. And
Those just got
as
some
a result,
use.
I now have the digital editions of them installed on my computer, and I have absolutely no desire to ever play that game again because I've played it until I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think
It's
I'll do with Stalker because it seems like it's very. I mean, definitely very. I don't want to say infinitely playable, but the converse of Payday 3, or sorry, the inverse of Payday 3 It's incredibly replayable because everything can be different playthrough to playthrough, and also, you know, I'm just having fun exploring everything the zone has to offer. It's huge. The zone is fucking huge, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of map to explore
It's
because
been
there's no fast travel. Every
yeah.
like
I spent a solid few
it,
hours just exploring the other night and just running around, just discovering different little quadrants. Not quadrants. There's more than four of them. Little the sectors of the zone, getting them all updated in the PDA, and like just running around trying to find all the major hubs for trading and stuff, which is how I found the Freedom warehouse in Ralstock.
mm, mm.
That's the thing. I've looked at the maps of like the old game and stuff. I've seen them before. I'm pretty familiar with them. Like, shit isn't exactly where it used to be. They've moved some stuff around and expanded
which
the map
is
and stuff.
which
So
is good.
yeah. And one of the comments I saw in a YouTube video. This is just a little aside. He said, "I can't believe Stalker 2 is actually here. This is a 2007 video game masquerading as a 2024 video game." And I'm like, yeah, but that's what we wanted. We didn't
Yeah.
we didn't want a modern interpretation of the Stalker games. You know, we just wanted
No.
the Stalker games to look and play like modern games, and that's what this is.
Yeah.
It's just if what if you made Stalker the original one in 2024, it just, in Unreal, and it's like, oh, that's pretty much what this is. And I love it.
Yeah.
It looks great. It plays great. It's got all the original sounds and like the menu UI and the PDA. It looks exactly like it did in the old game. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy that it's still that. That's great.
Because
I'm
that's
very happy with it.
yeah, it's definitely like it's been shown is remakes of older games are really the way to go.
Yeah,
Resident Evil 4 remake, fantastic.
great.
I put a couple hundred hours into that. Silent Hill 2, I beat like a few weeks ago, also fantastic. I'll play it again at some point, but
Yeah.
right now my time's with Stalker 2.
Oh,
Remakes are definitely
did you finish Silent Hill 2?
yes,
What
yes.
ending did you get?
I got I believe it was the Maria.
Oh,
So
that's a
not one of the new ones.
pretty good ending. Yeah.
Yeah, but because also like that's the way it doesn't tell you what ending you're gonna get
Right.
until the very
You
end.
don't know.
So and there's various factors that affect what ending you're gonna get. And also
always
some
like-
endings you can't get unless you play New Game Plus.
Yeah. I
So-
always like the dog ending.
Yeah, and that one you can't get till New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll replay that at some point, try and get some of the new endings, but
I don't
it
know
takes
if
a while.
Stalker's gonna have a new game plus or not. That'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean,
I think I'm still like a solid couple days of playing it all day away from finishing it, but it'd be interesting to see if there is a new game plus or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
that's the
look
thing
it
is
up. I'll just
also-
find out when I get there.
yeah, but I mean, even if there isn't one now,
Yeah.
there is still things on the horizon. They already said that they're working on a multiplayer,
I'd,
which I don't know how that's going to be. I won't play it because I don't play multiplayer.
well, multiplayer, but like in what regard as to a multiplayer? Like you can. Is it multiplayer like GTA Online? That's gonna be hell. There's gonna be a ton of griefing. Is it multiplayer like?
PvP, PvE, like what kind of?
Well, can you co-op the campaign with a friend? Is that how we're talking? Is it gonna be like, well, if it's co-op, why? How about can I squad up with 4 dudes and we can all run the zone together? Like is it how does multiplayer in a Stalker game look?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's not
That's the
something I
thing.
believe we've ever had, so I don't know how to gauge my expectations for that. I guess I'll just find out when it happens.
Yeah, that's usually the best, is because if you try and look into any information, Reddit, like Discord on the or any of those sites, like
There will be
you're gonna get very
discourse.
skewed. You're gonna get very skewed information. You're not gonna get the full story.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just better just to wait because
Mm-hmm.
especially for people that haven't played it, I just would stay away from the Reddit and Discord because you're gonna get spoiled. You're gonna see people trashing on it for some asinine reason.
I will say, I think something I intentionally did in playing my stalker game to, in my opinion, cheese the game a little bit, I feel
Mm,
like has enhanced the experience. So when I first started the game,
mm,
yeah, because it is a modern game, and like all modern games in Unreal, who are just so excited to show off their lighting, it's really fucking dark. So one of the first things I did was in the settings, I turned the gamma all the way up to 100. I think I set brightness and contrast at like 70 each, and it you can see in the dark now. You know, not perfectly. You really do still
yeah,
need to use the flashlight, especially if you're inside and there's no lights, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah, but at nighttime, you can actually see more than like this far in front of you. You know, so I feel like
yeah.
that's and people, oh, it's cheating or whatever, bro. I got my gamma goggles on. That's old
It's
gaming
fine.
cheating. That's fine.
Yeah,
But during the daytime, and particularly when it is overcast and gloomy, like it makes everything look so sort of like washed out and hopeless
mm,
and very just post-Soviet depression of it all. And I'm like, oh, I think I unintentionally just like created a visual pack for Stalker 2 that makes it look so
Jesus.
good. It almost makes it look a little bit like the older games because they didn't have a high
Mm,
dynamic lighting range, you know.
yeah,
So I'm really enjoying it thoroughly, even with my gamma cranked, so I can see at night.
yeah. I mean, I have my brightness at whatever the regular
You just
standard
default, right?
was. And I like for me when I go and I play night and it's outside, I turn my flashlight off because I actually see better with the flashlight off because it
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Well,
your eyes kind of adjust.
that's because in Unreal lighting sources work very realistically. So if you had a light
Yeah,
right here and it was on at night, you would be able to see what was lit up by that light, but nothing else.
yeah,
Whereas if you turn it off, well, your eyes would adjust to the darkness and you
yeah.
could see way more. Yeah.
So it definitely does work like really well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I also typically am a flashlight off sneaky boy, trying to be stealthy. The stealth mechanics, I
kind of
think,
jank.
again because of, and they've talked about this. The AI in the old games was called AI Life or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. The A life.
A Life, yeah. Well, A Life 2.0 used to be on the Steam page as like a marketing tool, and a lot of people have been talking about, hey, it seems like it's not working. I mean, I'm sure you've had experiences where you come around a corner and there are 7 enemies inside of each other, all trying to walk into a wall, and you get some cheap cheese right there. Just all. But anyway, they changed the verbiage talking about it on the Steam page, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, that's that they're lying. They're rolling back. They're taking back their promise now." They're like, no, they're not. The A Life 2.0 is a little buggy. They're working on it. They're working on fixing it.
Yeah,
Um, they just changed that. That was a marketing decision. They're like, hey, people who haven't played the old games may not know what the hell A Life 2.0 is. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, just explain it better then. So they did that. But I'm hoping that when they do release the hot fixes that fix A Life 2.0, that stealth becomes realistic and viable. Because like I am camouflaged and I am crouching and it is nighttime and I am inside
yeah,
of a bush. Why does the enemy immediately know where I am without
yeah.
me making any noise or moving? Like that's they can like see you, you know, through walls and stuff. Like the enemy's kind of got wall hacks. Granted, they can't shoot through walls, but like they know where you are like
It's
immediately. So
yeah. It
sometimes
but
I'm just like, there's no point in stealthing this, so I just charge in, rifle.
yeah. It's just but
And
yeah. It's definitely
for a
something that's
stalker game, I play it really aggressively. I'm kind of playing it like a
cyberpunk.
well, that is a different kind of incredibly satisfying aggressive way to play because the movement with like the double jump and the lunge and like the you can, yes, you can do a lot of cool vertical shit in Cyberpunk, but you can also do a lot of horizontal stuff
Yeah.
quickly, and that's an exciting way to play for me. But no, I'm not playing it like Cyberpunk because the movement, the speed and system is just completely unreal. I'd say I'm playing it more like like you'd play like a Far Cry 3,
Hmm.
pretty aggressively. I'm not fearing death because I know that like no consequences to death really. I just reload my last save and I quick save often. I save scum, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's
I'm
the thing
playing to
is
have
you
fun.
really have you have to because sometimes it won't autosave for 20-30 minutes.
Yeah,
And I've had that happen before, and it's like, man, that really sucks.
yeah. If you're doing any kind of water crossing, parkour, puzzle, if you're about to go talk to a trader,
Yeah,
quick save before you talk to the trader because you might fuck up and be like, oh damn, I sold something I really shouldn't have, and now it cost 4 times as much money to buy it back.
I
Yeah,
mean, I've also done it where I accidentally dropped an item that I didn't want to, and it doesn't end up on the floor. It ends up missing. So I'll have to reload it because I didn't
I
mean
will
to drop it.
say, wherever you do drop stuff, it
Yeah, it
stays
usually
there
does.
forever and it doesn't degrade.
Yeah, yeah. 90% of the time that does happen. It's just every so often you do have an item that kind of falls through the floor.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Like I said, 3 day old game. I'm okay with this level of game.
Hmm.
This is something totally fine for me. Like
It's
honestly,
got
if the
it's
game
got
never got updated, I'd be fine.
yeah, I would too. It's got some charming jank, and I've gotten pretty good at kill funneling the bloodsuckers. I do
Yeah,
dislike that. You kill enemies and you clear out an area, and it's like, okay, well now I've got time to like explore it and loot stuff, and the respawn timer doesn't think you have time, so you could. If I kill 2 bloodsuckers in an abandoned warehouse and then I'm trying to get a stash, like, well, if I take more than like 30 minutes, I might now have to kill 2 more bloodsuckers because they've respawned.
yeah.
That's something that I think needs just a little tweaking in the balance.
Eh,
Um,
It's
there should be like like an area of effect. Like, hey, if I've gone 900 meters away from this area I cleared out and time has passed, yeah, okay, hit the respawn on it. But like,
yeah,
yeah,
like a day later or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's fine.
it's great though. I
Well,
love the game. 10 out of
yeah,
10.
absolutely, definitely worth the
I'm gonna
money.
say 9.5 because there's a few bugs. Like whatever, they're charming
It's
Slav
fine.
jank.
Yeah. No, honestly, there's very few games I've ever played that are perfect 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and
And
I'm
it'd be difficult to say they were 10 out of 10 right out of the gate.
yeah, and I obviously again, Cyberpunk is one of them. I that game's a masterpiece. I love it. I think they did great. They're definitely you being so into the lore that I am, the things that predate the video game. I there are some things I would like to see implemented better, or maybe a little expanded upon. But I understand the real world implications of how that game came to be and why it is the way it is, and I think that is a lot of the reason that a lot of the things I'm unhappy with, and whereas the things I'm happy with, they did masterfully.
Yeah.
The story is great. The direction was fantastic. The acting, the mocap, it is all wonderful. The voice actors nailed it. The dialogue's great. The atmosphere. It's all. Mm. Well, I've seen a lot of people complaining about the English voice acting in Stalker 2. I played a while with it on. It's not that bad. Yeah, it is a little
Yeah.
immersion breaking or weird to hear English, Americans and British
Yeah.
people in the zone. But like, hey, if the zone was actually as big a phenomena as it was in the lore universe of in-game, I imagine a lot of multicultural people from different backgrounds would end up in the zone being stalkers. So it's not that weird.
Yeah. I mean, also, it's just I would say it's more just also like people gatekeeping. Some people don't want to have to read
Yeah,
everything. Some people want to just hear. Um,
yeah,
my old roommate hated watching anything on the TV with subtitles on. So,
yeah.
like, some people
I've been
don't want
playing video
subtitles. Like,
games
that's
so
fine.
long with the subtitles on. It'd be weird
Yeah,
for me to play them without subtitles now.
yeah. That's exactly my thing. Is I've been hard of hearing because of my
We both
time
have
in the
military
military.
grade tinnitus and hearing
Yeah,
loss,
so
so yeah.
it's so yeah, it's I always keep subtitles on. So yeah, that's totally
I
fine with
made
me.
mine
I
worse
think
by driving a Ford Raptor with no muffler for like 5 years. Um,
that
but it's better now. It's very quiet now. I think it's very quiet. I don't know if it's actually very quiet. It's very quiet to me. I'd like someone without damaged hearing to tell me if it's very quiet or not.
yeah, I don't know. I have to. Hopefully,
Compared
I'll
to
try
what it
and
used to
visit
be,
next year.
much better. I'd say it's a little quieter than stock now, which I'm happy with. That's good. It's time to start taking care of what I got left.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
Stalker 2, great. This is the Stalker 2 appreciation podcast.
yeah.
Um,
This was yeah.
yeah, which
Hopefully, we'll get more stuff for it. And talk about it next time. This time will
yeah,
pass, and then
absolutely. There'll
can
be
actually
some
talk about stuff.
updates. Hopefully, there'll be some good updates for Payday 3, something that'll actually make us want to play that game again. Because right now, I'm max level. I have all the challenges in game done. I have all the achievements for the game, and there's no reason for me to play this game. I played it
Yeah,
a little bit like a week ago because a new Mask of the Week came out, and I was like, that looks kind of cool. I kind of want that. So I played enough to get the coins to buy it, and then I was like, all right, turning the game off now, and I did.
yep,
It was, well,
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, some games, even if they do put out an update, like another game that put out an update that I haven't played in a while is Forza Horizon, because the
I
updates
just
just
don't care.
aren't.
I just don't
Yeah,
care anymore.
it's very bland. It's very lazy content. Like I
It's so declawed for children,
yeah,
you know, because you God forbid you have a racing game about cars that isn't rated E for everyone, and we've got a Lego tie-in and a Hot Wheels tie-in, and Mattel doesn't want any realistic depictions of street racing or car crashes to be associated with their product. Why would they? It's and that's a shame because a game like Forza, on the scope that it is, that had realistic adult themes and a sense of the police whatsoever.
yeah,
I mean, the community yearns for the police. We could go to pick any car in Forza basically and just go sort liveries by like most downloaded. Some of the top 5 are like police cars.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they people want that kind of thing. But it's the car games lately just have been very lackluster.
Yeah, listen. Cyberpunk and Stalker 2 have pretty much nailed the first person RPG experience in the way that I think it has been perfected.
Mhm.
Their racing game genre, I feel like, will never be my idea of it's perfected. It's
Yeah,
and granted, the world of motorsports and the culture of cars is so vast and varied. How could you ever make a game like that? So I get it, but like, abandon all hope, ye who enter here, if you want the perfect racing game, because it's no, that will never be.
yeah. It's unfortunate,
Yeah,
but also like a huge part of any racing game is really the location that it's set in.
yeah,
Um, and that's kind of what's been killing it for me for Horizon games because it went from Australia to Scotland to where's this new one? Mexico.
well, they went Australia, France, France, but no Paris. Then
Yeah,
Scotland, and now Mexico. And I'm like, there's so much opportunity with the Mexico setting that they now can't talk about or go into because of those brand deals with Hot Wheels and Lego and being E for
yeah.
everyone and kid friendly.
Like they could have done a lot of fun things, but they really ruined it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't think they'll ever make a really good game again. Like really, Horizon 4 was to me really like a lot of fun. Great location, everything.
My
5 felt
favorite thing
very
about Horizon 4 was that I had the Quadra VTEC from Cyberpunk in it.
yeah,
That was an
like there
excellent
was
tie-in. I want that car brought back, damn it. I love that
uh,
thing.
they're very yeah. I don't know. It's a difficult thing. I think until somebody else picks up the reins, I don't think we're going to get a racing game.
Yeah, until I don't know, maybe. I mean, and who knows where gaming and media and the culture around it
Actually,
go a decade from now. Maybe someday I will get my idea of a perfect racing game. I doubt it though.
which I just remembered that trailer that came out not too long ago. That drifting game that had a trailer come out.
I, I'm.
Which I don't know.
Mm,
I'm curious. I'm hopeful because
trailer looked great.
yeah,
I'll say that. I don't know
if they'll get it down
if the
right,
game's gonna be great. I don't know if the
no
game's
idea.
real. I'll put that out.
I definitely think the game's real because it was put out on some bigger video game YouTube channels. I just don't know if it'll be at the same quality what as it is now, or if it'll be take a downturn just to get out.
Remains to be seen. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't even know who's developing.
Yeah.
On
I watched that trailer and I noticed like no developer logos, no splash screen engine logos, like nothing. Nothing I know to be an established presence in the industry was associated with this project, and it looked suspiciously good for that. And they were using licensed cars in that trailer, and I'm like, well, not.
did they have the rights?
Yeah, that's
Trying to see if I can find the trailer again.
that's one of the big reasons I think a racing game in my idea of a perfect racing game could never come to be is licensing issues. There's a big one.
Yeah, because it is an unfortunate thing that you do have to get the the rights to go and actually
Yeah,
include
which
cars, which
I
is like
personally feel like if an automaker hasn't made this specific car for 20 years now, you ought to
yeah,
be able to put it in your media as just
yeah,
fair use, public commons. You know, this is public domain. Like this is come on. Like you're telling me I'm gonna hurt the brand image of a car you haven't made in 20 years by having it in my racing game? I'm not paying you to put you know, an R32 Skyline in a game because you don't make any money from the R32 Skyline anymore. You don't make
no,
any money,
not at
period.
all.
Nissan, you're doing horrible right now, actually. Yeah, that's some
So yeah, the
Nissan may be
developer is
folding.
called Gaming Factory. They
Oh,
have
sounds Chinese.
they have two games out right now, or no, they have a few games out. They put a few games out, but none of them look. Um, wow, that's yeah. So they have a actual trailer out, well, game out, but a they have a demo out for that game, that drifting game that you can play. So
Hmm.
here, I might have to download that to give it a shot.
We might
But
have
there are
to
other
investigate that to
games,
report back.
there are other games that don't seem at all car related because they have Castle Flipper, Food Truck Arena,
Yeah, it sounds Chinese. It sounds like an
Electrician,
asset flipping Chinese company is what it sounds like.
Electrician Simulator,
Yeah, these are.
Bakery Simulator. Like none
Now
of
I'm
them
getting
have
hooked.
anything to do. So I'm very wary. So we'll report back next time. I'll have to give it a shot.
I will
But
say,
yeah,
in the ilk of simulation games, this is a game much like Minecraft that I have not been involved with since 2009 ish.
mm,
That has come a long way. Automation automation is a fantastically polished product now. Basically, it's car company simulator. Like you start
Mm.
the predetermined point in history, you are starting a car company. What kind of cars are you gonna make? You design like through technical specifications.
Hmm.
You're designing this car. You design the car. I think they've got a test track now. You design the factory. Like I was always playing with the engine dyno aspect of automation, which yeah,
$30. $30 on Steam.
I think it was like $20 when I bought it in. It might have been like $10 when I bought it in 2009 or 10, but who the fuck can remember a login from back then? So it's like I'd probably just buy it again on Steam and check it out. How big of a game is it? Is it a big game? I imagine it would be a lot of assets. But I haven't looked into it. I've just seen some YouTube videos of it just quickly. It looks like it's come a long way since 2010. Um, I might check it out.
30, 30 gigabytes?
That's not very big at all.
Yeah.
So that could yeah
Yeah.
be an interesting thing to check out that I might check out at some point. Uh,
Yeah. Something different.
I'm wary of getting too into things because I know how bad I am with time management and
Yeah.
staying
That's
self-disciplined
definitely.
anyway. So I don't want to get lost in a video game and fail out of
Kind
college
of,
and lose my
yeah,
relationship
neglect
and
your real life
get like
responsibilities.
all my real life responsibilities for a video game. But yeah, so I don't get too caught up in things. But yeah, a nice time waster every now and then is good when you've got
Yeah, a little break from reality.
yeah a day off or a weekend or a couple hours to throw at something. Yeah, but
Which also, I mean, speaking of other time wasters, so there's a auto show going on tomorrow. Well, actually, all weekend here in Virginia Beach.
yeah,
So I'm gonna try and go there tomorrow to go see how it is because it's going from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So try and go stop over there, take a few pictures if there's anything worthwhile,
yeah,
kind of see if it's worth going back in future years.
yeah. Go check that out because you've got a nice camera and stuff, right? You got into
Yeah,
photography? Yeah.
yeah. I don't ever really use it because honestly, my phone takes
Phones
really good
take
photos
such good
because
pictures now that like buying a nice
especially
camera that'll be outdated in a few years. I mean, it's what's yeah.
especially when you start playing with your camera's your phone's settings.
Oh yeah.
I got some really good photos of when I went to Shenandoah Caverns.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I showed my therapist, even she was like, "Wow, the camera, you can make the camera look like this." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I was just playing with settings."
Yeah. No, that's great.
So, yeah, I'll try and take a gander at that. I'm trying to think of what else is really. Oh, you
Um,
got a bird, didn't you?
yes, that's the other thing on my list. My partner Gray and my girlfriend, recently took a road trip south to go pick us up a bird. Um,
Hmm.
his name is Simon. He is a 30-year-old African gray parrot. He's about yay big. He's a talkative sort of gentleman. He's very funny. He is hilarious. Uh, he doesn't laugh so much as chuckle or and yeah, it was funny. We the night we got him home, uh, after the long drive home, he was in a little carrier while I unloaded his cage from the truck and like set it up and everything for him. Gray set him on the floor in the carrier, and as soon as she set him down and he knew he was on flat ground, he went. Every time she'd walk past him, he was like making annoyed sounds. He just wanted to be in his cage and go to bed. He'd be like, finally got his cage set up, and he wasn't familiar with this yet, so he used the stick to get him step up, get him on the stick, and put him in his cage on his perch. And as soon as he got in there on his perch, he turned around and we looked at us and we were like, okay, good night. And we put the sheet over his cage so he could sleep, and he went, good night. I was still asleep the next morning, but she was up, and she was like, "Yeah, do you want breakfast?" And he's like, "Toast." And we made him his little toast, his little size that he can hold with some like nut butter on it, because that's what he
Oh,
likes. And he ate it. You know, he likes to hold his food.
mm,
Parrots, when they're chilling and they're just comfortable and hanging out, they're only standing on one leg. They got one up usually. I've learned so much about birds and bird behavior in my girlfriend owning a bird. It's like all we talk about
which,
anymore is bird shit. It's fine. I love her. She's
yeah.
great. Everything's great. Unironically, everything's great. Seriously, don't read too much into this, anybody. But yeah, he's after burger again. I was still asleep. He, because he was in a really stressful environment before this one, and he'd plucked out a lot of his feathers, and he started growing them back. So he's got most of them back, but he's still missing some, so he hasn't quite got his
Mm,
balance. She's like, yeah, he lost his balance and fell off of his perch into the bottom of his cage. He didn't fall very far. He was okay. He's fine.
yeah. It's
But she's like, yeah, when he fell, he was like, whoa, as he fell, and then when he hit the ground, he went, ugh. So he's a hilarious little bird, and he's been talking to her a lot. Yeah, he's meeting all of her friends. He likes them. He talks about how much he likes them. He asks for them by name. Gray was sick a couple days after we got the bird, and she was like sitting on the couch, not having a good time, being very sick. And Simon said, "I love you, Gray," to Gray in Gray's voice, which I imagine was a little unsettling. Yeah.
God
He
damn.
likes
That's a
me. I'm the only person who has like put his hand in the cage and like pet Simon.
aw.
He just let me. I don't know. I'm good with animals like that. They trust me. I trust them. We like each other. Usually cats that hate people immediately come up to me and like want uppies and like to be held and climb on me and say that's great. I love animals. Um, yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, those kind of birds are really smart, which is
yeah. She was telling me today. She's
so
like,
wild.
She's really tired today because she did a bunch of stuff yesterday, and Simon is not because Simon didn't do very much yesterday. And he's like, so if he would have gone with me last night, he would be just as tired as I am. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure he would. These are all in quotes. Gray, Gray here. Gray, want to go for a ride? Fly. Chicken. Gray. Woo. He dances. He dances. He really likes music like Blondie and like Stiff Little Fingers. He does sort of
Oh, okay.
80s poppy punk,
Mm,
new wave sort of. Anything with you can really hear the guitar. He likes that a lot,
okay.
and he'll bob his head, and I'll bob my head, and we'll dance, and we'll do dance party, and he'll put his wings up and go woo while we're dancing. He loves that. Um, oh, she played some Paul Simon song, some old song. She was playing
Mm,
it on Spotify, not for him, just as music. And he was listening to it and really vibing with it. And it got to the part where Paul Simon's talking about, flying and like spreading your wings and flying and soaring. And Simon was like, "Good song. I like this. This is a good song." It's just like he's very smart. It's excellent. This bird engages in conversation and he does it correctly. That's more than you can say of a
yeah.
lot of Americans. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's absolutely
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, so he's great. We're incredibly happy with the bird. The bird is awesome. The bird is already keeping her on more of a schedule. It wants food when it wants food. It'll ask for it. It asks for clean water. This was literally the same night we got him home. He didn't even know us yet, and we just covered his cage up. And we're like, all right, cool, go to bed. And Gray goes, oh, I forgot to give him water. And as soon as he heard I forgot to, he went and laughed at her. And then as she poured water, it makes the sound of water being poured. And then he mimicked the sound of water being poured with like a little bit of like digital artifacting mixed in, and I was like, are all synth noises just bird noises?
Birds.
Are all sound effects just birds? Eh,
Everything we're everything goes back to birds.
He's an incredible mimic, like of not even people, like things and noises and yeah. He purrs. She was telling me
Yeah,
the other
he's
day. She's like, yeah, because he's never been like next to a window and experiencing all the outside sounds and stuff. He's very chilled out and happy now, and he was like relaxing and napping. And she sent me. It's a barely audible audio clip of it. She had her phone just like up against the cage. Just
mm,
she sent me. It was like, yeah, he's so chilled out and relaxed. He's like purring right now while he naps. I'm like, that's amazing. I'm so happy we have such a good environment for this bird now. And he's said like numerous times, like I don't know if birds can smile because they have beaks, but he always looks like he's really smiling. And he says out loud like pretty often, he's like, I'm so happy. Like he's so happy. Like little man's chuffed. Yeah, we're good. We're good bird parents. Hell yeah.
yeah, that's
So
fantastic,
that's
especially because for something that smart, like
yeah,
putting in a bad environment is basically the same as like
yeah,
if you put a 15-year-old kid in a really stressful environment.
yeah. It would be horrible. It'd
Yeah,
be horrible to have like a teenager in a really awful environment. You know, he is. Yeah, I know he's 30 and a bird, but
yeah,
he's like mentally, he's like a teenager.
yeah.
He
Which
knows enough of how to talk and sort of do it correctly, like he does, and like, yeah,
yeah.
it's. I can't wait to get back there this coming weekend. I'll go
Mm,
out to the island again, and yeah, I want to just see if I can just sit on the couch and chill out with Simon, and I'm gonna see what kind of stuff he likes to watch on TV. I bet he'd really like Miami Vice and Magnum PI.
that'd be that'd be so much fun.
Yeah, well, she sent me a message earlier again because she's tired and Simon isn't. She's like, how did she say it? I would love him to sit and watch TV with Dad right now. Like, oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then he keeps asking for Zach by using the beer can sound and then friend.
That's really funny.
Just imagine the sound I made with my. You know, he's just making that and then friend. And like, oh, he's asking for. Even if he doesn't know their names, he knows who they are and he knows how to ask for them.
That's so
That's
wild.
yeah. He's big on picking up vibes too. Like if you're not calm around him, he'll start getting weird and be like, you know. But yeah, we're always really calm and happy when we're around him because we're around each other. And so he's in a great environment now,
Yeah,
and it's
kid.
good for
Yeah, kid.
that. And big shout out to
Yeah.
Parrots for Patriots Bird Rescue.
Mhm.
That's where we got him from. It's this old guy. He's got like 30 birds that he takes care of, and he'll go and rescue birds like Simon out of like a bad environment where he can't be
Mhm.
kept anymore. And that's great. They're doing a lot of great work. They gave us so much shit with this bird when we got him. Books on him, pre-made food that they'd already like made and like mixed
Mhm.
up for him and everything, and told us exactly what he likes to eat, what he likes to do, and stuff. And it's incredible. This guy, if you want a bird and you're in the Pacific Northwest, that go to that guy.
Mhm.
Work with that guy. That's worth every
Yeah,
penny. They're great. She did
yeah, especially
great. Didn't pay
for,
like $2,000 for this bird, but like
but I mean,
holy
still,
shit,
like to go, yeah,
we
because that's
bought
the
the
thing is,
smartest pet anyone's ever had.
because
I
that's the
bet
thing
he can
is,
do math.
yeah, most likely, because that's the thing is when he's taking care of that many birds, every bird's going to be slightly different. So the fact that he knows the exact this bird likes,
Well, that
because it's
and
basically,
he's like, yeah, I've got them all like on a schedule, And then like at 10 p.m., like if I'm still up trying to do paperwork or something, they're telling me to go to bed. And like I gotta like leave and
Which
like go out into my RV that I use as my office and like start doing like just so they leave me alone. I'm like, oh, he's got him. They watch. He like puts cartoons on for him on Saturday mornings, and
oh, nice.
they all talk to the cartoon and like talk about the cartoon and like they oh birds like cartoons. All right, sick.
Me, that's yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair, man. That's
I can't wait to watch King of the Hill with the bird and hear it start talking like Bobby Hill. How can I make this bird more unsettling for other people? No, I will not be
God.
mischievous with Simon. I don't. I think he's too smart for me to do that. I think he'd know what I was doing and then just not
Yeah,
buy into it.
yeah,
Or maybe he would know what I'm doing and also think it's funny. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you have to try it just to see.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But
Bird's not
oh
going
yeah,
anywhere, and neither are we. So yeah.
yeah. There you go.
That was really all I had. I think both of us, because I said you were playing it just a little before this. I think we're both a little like, ooh, stalker time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not playing it too much. I'm trying to
Yeah, don't want to
keep it
burn out
going
on it.
because, and also, this was really the game I've been waiting for year and a half. I've been waiting for this game, so like,
Yeah, I mean,
and this is the only game I really want to play for a while.
after this, yeah, the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes, which, dude, if they
I
look as
don't,
good as Alan Wake 2 does, I mean, that's
which do they
I'm
even have
playing a
a?
movie.
Do they even have a like a release date for them yet?
I don't think so. I don't think they've even talked too much about it. I just believe it's in the development
Yeah,
phase, and they're just
yeah.
very
Remedy
quiet.
Games has it as TBA.
Yeah, which
So
hey, I mean, isn't Jeff Keighley's big stupid video game show coming up? Might get something there.
yeah, maybe I
Do a
don't know.
trailer? That'd be.
That'd be nice. I know they just did a trailer for the Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remake, a remaster. I think it's a
Oh,
remaster.
dude, nice.
Which that looks really good. Those are hard games, but I'm gonna get and
I'm I'm
play
I'm
them.
I'm gonna straight up throw it out there. The reason that happened at all is because of your favorite son on YouTube doing his
Mm,
5 hour Soul Reaver series retrospective. That got like 4 million views. Like
yeah. Oh, yeah.
apparently, I vaguely remember those games existing when I was a kid, but I never played them. I didn't really know about them. But then he goes into it, and I'm like, holy
They're
shit, I had
really
no
hard.
idea.
Yeah, they're really hard,
I
but they're really
yeah.
cool. I like the world. The world building was fantastic. Because obviously they're a sequel to Blood Omen,
Hmm.
or well, I think it was Blood Omen. Like Blood
I believe
Omen,
it's Blood
Blood
Omen.
Omen.
Yeah, a very old sort of side scroller game. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain is the first one in the series. Now it's from '96,
I will
so that's a
continue to call it
very old game.
side scroller. I refuse to use the term Metroidvania because I hate that.
Actually, they weren't even a Metroidvania. It's more like it's that top-down kind of thing. Like a
Oh, like
like an
isometric.
yeah, kind of like RTSs.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I never, like I've said, I never fucking played them, but yeah,
Yeah, so they have a few of them. They have
yeah. Shout out your
Blood
favorite son on
Omen.
YouTube. We
I
love
guess
your content, man. I just watched
yeah,
your
I
hours long Death Stranding 1 video.
which that's another one coming out. But
Yeah, that
as I've talked to you about it before, I'm not going to because I burnt out delivering packages in the first game, and then
yeah, I
yeah, the boss fights were kind of meh.
I don't think I would appreciate Kojima's particular style of art form in video games now post Metal Gear as
Yeah.
a video game that I play. I do appreciate them as your favorite son's many hour full explainer on the video game. I appreciate that. I love it.
Yeah.
It's very his games are very pretty. Kojima. I
Oh,
watched the
they
10-minute trailer for Death Stranding 2. It's very just
yeah, very
ultra
pretty.
realistic, very pretty. I have no fucking idea what's going on or how I'm supposed to bridge the gap between anything making sense in this world. that he's created, but I like that it exists. I'm happy
Yeah,
he's doing his favorite weird things, and he's
yeah. And that's the
happy.
thing is,
Yay!
and that's the thing is, he's happy. He's making money. Like they're successful. People love them. It's not like
Yeah,
I
they
would say
sell.
like a
Yeah,
yes, and like there is definitely a good vision with it. It's just not like
yeah,
for something to be good doesn't mean I have to like it.
yeah.
Like
No,
objectively, they are really good games.
it's great. There is an artistic vision. It's fantastic. I don't have to see it for it to exist and be great.
Yeah.
I don't see what he sees. I can't connect the
Um.
dots, but I know that he can, and I'm happy
Yeah.
that he's doing that. It's great. He's making some
And
really artistic, wonderful shit.
yeah, and I hope he goes and get introduces another band because playing the first one, he did really bring Low Roar
The
to the
entire
mainstream.
soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah, which is fantastic because that's how I got into them, and I loved them.
Well, hey,
Unfortunately, I
that's
believe the
speaking of Remedy and Alan Wake too. I mean, Old Gods of Asgard.
yeah.
It's just entirely just a band who's friends with Sam Lake.
I hope that in Death Stranding 2, he puts up another band because unfortunately, the lead singer of Low Roar did pass away
That's
in
unfortunate.
2022.
Yeah.
Um, so hopefully, Kojima either puts more Low Roar in just as a kind of tribute, or
Yeah.
I don't. I'd like personally, I would like if he did that as well as introduce another band to the mainstream because man has taste in music. Like Low Roar
He's
is,
got impeccable taste in many things.
yeah. So,
When
but
he
we'll
makes
see.
video games, he takes all of them and he throws it in a blender and he hits puree and then he comes back in an hour and he just into the game.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. No, it's very cool what he's doing. I wish there was more just kind of cool, weird, fun, creative shit getting done in the gaming industry. But I understand that something at the level he does it is very difficult to do.
yeah, because that's the thing is if he wanted to do this game and he was a nobody, it would have never happened. It's the fact that he is a somebody that he could even do this.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
and yeah, people will take what I just said and go, "Oh, well, the cool, fun, creative, interesting things are being done." You obviously don't play a lot of indie games. No, I don't, because I'm not a fan of most of the indie games that come out. They're all a very downplayed, cartoony art style. They're always a weird, goofy kind of play dynamic. It's like I
so
don't
there
play
are,
cartoony games that you know. What was that one? Hollow Knight. People talk about how great that game is and like, cool, it's a cartoony like side scroller. Like, I appreciate that they're doing something different and people love it, but it's just not for me. That's not my kind of game.
yeah,
I would have no fun
um,
playing that, so I don't.
yeah, it's
And
it,
all the indie dev game community, they're all just cannibalizing each other. You know, someone like
yeah,
Hollow Knight gets
it's
popular, and then you see like 35 cartoony, fun, colorful, goofy Metroidvania kind of roguelike, whatever buzzword
yeah,
games come out,
it's
and they all get featured on Game
um,
Awards. I'm like, to me, someone who really enjoys things like Cyberpunk and like now Stalker 2, I'm like, who's playing these? It's
uh,
certainly
so
not
there
the larger gaming community as a whole, you know?
I'm sorry, that's a very
I
hard to
know.
answer question
Yeah.
because
I know. Like, I get there's
it
certain
is
aspects of people who only play games like that. There's certain aspects of people in gaming who only play shit like Animal Crossing, and that's fine too. But like,
yeah
if you're,
it's
yeah, I don't know. I just
it's a hard thing to answer. Because personally, I do love Hollow Knight. I had a lot of fun playing it. I could never do. There's a lot of really hard stuff because it is a
oh
hard
yeah,
game.
you love
Um,
hard games. I don't.
I do. I love hard games.
I'm like, I'd rather they be fun.
But the problem is that I plateau at a certain point, so I can't do the hardest things.
hmm
But that's okay because it I understand where you're coming from in that it did inspire a lot of games. There are a
Yeah,
lot because it did inspire a lot of Metroidvania games, Dead Cells,
yeah.
uh, there's a lot of them. I'm trying to think. I can't think of the name of it right now,
I
but I
think I
know
think
that
Lyle Rath talked about it on pregame discharge when he talks about like all the usually when he does his like award show wrap up and talks about all the things that got showed off, and he's like, oh, and it's another cartoony roguelike Metroidvania buzzword game from an indie dev. Well, these are a dime a dozen nowadays. Pick any of them, they'll all play the same. And it's like, eh.
yeah, it's very difficult to make them different.
Everything now, it seems like, at least this is just what I've noticed with game trailers and videos and stuff, and the games that have come out in the past couple years. Everything is very Fortnite oversaturated, bright lights, colorful, and I'm like, this is visually diarrhea. This is abhorrent. This is physically
It,
hurtful to my eyes. Why does everything look like this right now? And then
it's too
Stalker comes
overwhelming
along,
in the
and it's like,
senses.
it's not sixth gen console piss filter, but like everything's kind of brown and gray, and what I'm like, oh, this is so good. This is just refreshing to just I mean, yeah, overstimulating in a lot of senses, like when you're in a gunfight with the shotgun with 4 rounds in it, and there are 3 bloodsuckers around you. But
Yeah,
I can
um,
play it for a long time and not get tired of it because it isn't assaulting my senses constantly.
yeah, that's that. Because there is another game that
We
I
didn't
just
praise
watched
the
some.
sound design enough in Stalker 2. I have the music turned way down, so it's always very quiet for me, which is sort of ambient and I think good, but also like all the guns sound great. I think all the audio sounds good. All the sound effects are great. Sound design, it's a great game. Buy Stalker 2, damn it.
Yeah, because speaking of like other, because there was another game that just came out, Mullet Mad Jack.
Yeah. That's another one that is just
It's
a
very
visual assault.
it's it's a fun game. I will say it is a fun game. I did play the demo for it. It is
Yeah,
a fun game, but
people
it's too overwhelming. There's too many bright
it's
colors of
just so
oversaturation.
much.
There's too much going on the screen. It
Yeah,
so you can only play it for so long. So I think I played through the demo and I was
yeah,
like, yeah, I think literally that amount of time was the right amount of time for me to be like, okay, yeah,
yeah.
this would be where I could stop, like play and then be done.
And it's not a thing of like that. That's a bad choice, but because like we both love the both Hotline Miami's, and they are very
Yeah,
bright and colorful and stimulating with
yeah,
amazing music and a lot of fast-paced action. But I don't know. It's like the I'm gonna date myself here, even though I've already said I'm 31 years old many times. But it's like, and I wasn't alive then for what I'm about to talk about. But it's like in the early '80s when Van Halen 1 came out, and Van
mm,
Halen got really popular, and people loved it. And then all the record companies, everybody went, "Oh well, hey, one's good, 100's better. Let's go get 4 guys and they look pretty, and let's put them in a band. Who cares if they can play? They can do metal." And then hair metal was born, and it was just
yeah,
everything turned up to 11 all the time. And I feel like that's where we're at in gaming right now. Is one thing
yeah,
hits, and then everybody cranks it to 12, and then
yeah.
pumps them out,
It's
and it's just too much. And
that's
it's so
yeah,
oversaturated. We're burning out on it quicker than we've ever burned out on anything before. Burnout's happening way faster with shit because all the instant gratification is just there. You want something, you can just
yeah,
go get it now. And yeah,
yeah. It's definitely a huge issue
oh yeah,
in that a lot of because as you talked about earlier, with now it's pretty much a cardinal sin to go and include any items in a game that are game breaking.
yeah.
It's
Which I
and the
mean,
only way that they
yeah,
do that now is if they'll include it is if you have to buy it with physical money.
yeah.
Um,
Which granted, Stalker did that well. I did buy the $110 one with all the extra shit in it. But that said, I
I
still
don't
had to
think any
go
of it
out
was.
into the world and fight monsters and climb shit, go find all that shit. And that
Yeah,
was hard. And at one point, while tracking down, I think the last stash last night, uh, Tanner was in the call with me, and I died like 4 or 5 times in a row again to bloodsuckers, and I'm like, this is a little bit frustrating. And I was being comical. I was making a joke of it. Like, it's all the more frustrating knowing I paid $40 extra to be this frustrated. It's like, yeah, well, Yeah, I get it, but again, that's not a knock against the game. I was making a
no,
joke.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like they did it correctly.
yeah.
Absolutely, like
I
yeah,
because that's the thing is a lot of places will go and you'll buy a DLC and it'll give it to you right in your inventory
and
right
it's the most
away.
horrendous, ugly fucking shit you've ever seen. But it's the armor with a
Yeah.
million hit points. You know, it's like oh,
Sometimes it's not even that.
I
I've
gotta wear
had
this
DLC
gross ass
where
shit.
the DLC they like items they give you are actually worse,
hmm
and it's like I paid money for something that's absolutely useless.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
well, that's like, and again, I hate to knock on them because I know everyone at the studio is working very hard, and it is no one at the studio's fault that the game is the state it's in. You know, it like they are doing their best with what they have. I don't want to blame the dev team for any of the shortcomings of Payday 3, but all the DLC shit that you get when
no,
you
yeah,
buy the
yeah,
special edition of
that's
Payday 3, yeah, it's pretty cool weapons with the ugliest, most gaudy fucking skins you have ever goddamn seen put on them. And it's like the dumbest fucking mask in the world, and it's a horrible color. And then you got like a teal suit with a bunch of chevrons and shit. Like, who in the
yeah.
actual fuck
No
wanted this
one is
shit?
just
You know, like
it,
that's a lot of DLC is it's expensive and it was essentially worthless, which is it's really funny. Um, but yeah, that's that I yeah.
the video game market's in a weird state right
Everything's in a weird state, man.
now.
Everything. We've been
Video
living in
games,
weird times since
movies.
like 2012. Shit's been
Yeah,
weird.
it's,
Uh,
yeah.
we live in interesting times. We do. This
That
is.
is big
We live in
facts.
through some chapters in the history book. I tell you that.
We keep living through once in a time lifetime events,
Once is enough.
but we keep getting them every year.
Well,
Seems
they're
like.
different all the time. um,
But
I mean that's
yeah,
that's kind of all I had.
yeah, that was everything I can think of.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't. Because the RX-7's still fine. The hood release broke last weekend, but thankfully I just had it serviced by the Vargas brothers. Really good dudes. Um,
nice, nice. Oh, I bought a
so,
bumper. It's behind the couch, and I don't want to grab it. I bought a bumper for the
um,
Trans Am. It was $200. I'm pretty unhappy with it. Just I don't know what I expected from a
not
modern
bad.
company who makes polyurethane body kits and shit. And it's not a body. It's just a stock 82, 84 Trans Am front bumper. But it's not as good as an original. And thankfully, I do have also off screen laying in the hallway of. It's a weird hallway in my house, actually. I'm not sure. Between the front door and where I am, there's a wall, and on one side of the wall is the kitchen, and on the other side of the wall, it's just a hallway that leads into here. So you can go through the kitchen to get here, or through the hallway to get here. I didn't build this fucking place; I just live here.
No,
But yeah, I have an original takeoff that I paid some dude at an auto salvage place $100 for, and the paint is fucked, and it's gonna need some filler, a lot of sanding, priming, paint to look good again. But I didn't have to hang it from the top of a closet door and go at it with a heat gun to get it to try to take shape properly and form correctly. And I don't have to worry about how floppy it still is because it's very rigid. It's older than I
So
am.
I
It's an
actually
old.
just thought of something you could do for that polyurethane. If you got the epoxy two-stage hardener and then got a paintbrush and just painted the inside of it and then set it so it hardened to the shape you want it. Because
The
obviously I wouldn't do it on the outside because I don't know how painting epoxies would work. I don't think it would work very well. But if you did it on
yeah
the inside where you're not going to paint it anyways,
yeah. I mean, and I could do
that
something
would
like that, but
that
it's
would
just
really be the only thing I can think of.
it's just a lot of work
Yeah. Oh yeah.
to then put into something I already paid a couple $100 for that was supposed to be brand new and
It
ready,
what
and
is it was brand new. It was
it was
it was
brand new.
rolled
They
up.
balled it up, wrapped it in plastic
Yeah.
wrap, shoved it in a tiny box, and then it got. The box was
Yeah.
fucked up when I got it too. It looked like it got kicked up my steps to my doorstep, which was only three of them. But
Probably did, to
yeah,
be
well,
honest.
um, but yeah, I was pretty bummed when I got it and I took the plastic wrap off and it was like, Fwah. I actually saw the box and how small it was and I was like, oh, I know that ain't my bumper. It was.
It was your bumper.
It's I've managed to form it pretty close to it, but there's still issues with it, and to put it on the car, I'd have to still do a lot of work in getting it to fit, and panel gaps to be right, and the little recesses for where the headlights sit, but when they're not up and they're down, like one of them is like bulged up, and I'm like, well, I can't. How the fuck do I fix that? Like I can't heat gun that down without like. It's just it'd be a lot of work to do.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna fucking sit back there until I get so frustrated looking at it that I throw it in the garage. It's never gonna go on the car. It's probably gonna be left in the garage when I move out of here. It's
Ah, dude, you gotta take that shit with you. Just
that's
that way, as a memento that
yeah,
to never spend $200 on a fucking bumper again.
yeah. If you're trying to do a sort of restorative action process on a car like I am with this '84 Trans Am, get as much as you can. Get original parts because nothing fits like original parts,
Yeah.
and
That's,
that's always going to be true. I mean, nothing against some aftermarket companies, but they don't make them the same way the OEMs did, and they probably never will. So it's not feasible, not cost effective. So I don't blame them. But nothing fits like original parts.
yeah, I think the
But yeah,
only company is that thing we talked about before, that Chinese company making reproduction A86s. And
that's a different thing too. With steel and body stuff,
yeah,
a
that's a
lot of
lot
times
easier.
that is easier, and it gets stamped a lot of times
Yep.
on the same dies the manufacturers used when they're done with them. But
Yeah.
to maintain stamping dies is an entirely different thing. So there's a
Yeah.
loss of quality over time the more stamping as you do. So, I mean it's and that
So
I I don't know on that
I'm
Chinese
very
company.
yeah,
Certainly that's a
I think
good place to start if you want to build like a track focused just race car project
yeah.
AE86 and you don't want to pay the ridiculous cost of an original to
Yeah.
then destroy it. But
Um
I'd have to see someone
and that's the thing, is I don't
really
think
get into
I
them,
think everybody's
yeah,
waiting
side by side.
for somebody else to buy it.
Yeah, I'd want a bare original '86 shell that's been stripped, and I'd want that next to it. And I'd be like, all right, we're gonna go over everything that's different about them, good, bad, you know. Like, I want to know because a lot of times you hear, well, like we said it when we were talking about that video gaming. Oh, sounds like a Chinese company. Like a lot of times they get a bad rap. Listen, I've been buying Chinese stainless headers for all my cars for like a decade now. They're all always amazing.
Yeah.
They're laser cut flanges. They're beautifully you know, machine welded. The welds are always perfect. The stainless is always really high quality and nice. They never like discolor and shit. Like they're always great. Chinese manufacturing is amazing at a lot of things. I don't know how good they are at making reproduction steel chassis
Yeah.
for cars that never had that market before. It's not like the Mustang where you can buy a Mustang from, the Summit Mustang book. And you can buy
Yeah,
everything
that's
you
the thing,
need
is that's a
except a VIN
whole
number to
new,
build a whole Mustang.
and the company that's doing it does have other cars, but I don't know any YouTubers that have bought one of those shells
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
if they're
Which
good.
makes you wonder,
So
like, well, if I don't know anybody who has bought these, who is this market? Who is buying these? Who is this market
yeah,
for? You know?
very very curious. But I don't know if they're still available when I get more money. I'd like to go and do it just because I think it'd be really neat to do like that kind of thing. And if they're good, I'd like to support them because maybe then they'll go and they'll want to do other cars.
Oh yeah, there's certainly a few projects we have planned where we're obviously not going to be able to afford like an original, like the Bullet Mustang.
Yeah.
The 68 Fastback. Never in our lives are we probably going to ever be able to afford an actual
Yeah.
68
They're
Fastback GT 390 Mustang, but we
they're
can
too
buy a
by
Copart
who? Yeah.
07 coupe and explode it, cut
Well,
the body off, and
yeah.
then graft on like an AMD or somebody who I forget who makes the steel Mustang body. You buy one of those and graft it on, and then make it close enough and right, and then put sort of a period correct engine in it.
Yeah.
It'll look and sound right. It's a simulacra, not necessarily a simulation, but yeah, it'll be close enough and it'll be good. And that's certainly a thing that I'm glad exists for a segment of the car culture and community. The people who want a thing but don't want to pay anywhere near what it costs to get the real thing, and the close enough thing is good enough for what they want.
And that's the thing is a lot of the original things they'll never live up to what you want them to be,
Don't get your
and
heroes, yeah.
also even if it does live up to it, can you justify the financials of
Yeah.
driving it?
So I love the Ferrari 308 and the Lamborghini Countach. Aesthetically, they're just so pleasing to look at. They sound great. I imagine that when they were brand new back in the day, they drove fantastically. I don't. I think I would fucking hate driving a Countach.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
hot. It's cramped. It's 80s Lamborghini, so it's not particularly well made. It will overheat. The power steering is heavy. The clutch is heavy. The shifts are heavy. I bet it's awful. To live
yeah,
with and drive.
yeah.
But
And that's the thing is,
a
I mean, you drove
Countach
the
kit
Viper.
car can be anything I want it to be, and I don't have the burden of having destroyed something historically significant when I make
Yeah,
that. That's why I think the
because
kit car Cobras are so popular. Yes, someone in a two-car garage in the Midwest can buy a 15 grand Cobra kit car and build it, and you know what? It's pretty fucking close to exactly what
yeah,
Shelby American was turning out in the 60s. It's almost the same damn thing, aside from, the engine, which is on you. Put whatever you want in it, but it's right
yeah,
up there.
yeah,
It's
and it'll do everything that you wanted it to do and more.
It'll
Because
probably do a lot of it better than a 60s Cobra. They
yeah,
weren't safe.
no, but I
They're
mean,
still not
you didn't,
safe.
you didn't
The kit cars
buy
aren't
those to be safe.
safe, but they're
Yeah,
safer than a 60s Cobra.
so yeah, I think mock-ups are really the way to go moving forward because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
as people go and buy these cars, and you see it a lot with YouTubers. They'll buy a R32
I
or
bought my dream
34,
car. It's awful.
and,
Like, well, yeah.
and
I bought a
well, either
R32
that,
GTR. Like, okay, buddy, it's a 30-year-old Nissan. Be
but
prepared.
and then either they'll do that or they'll buy it and then they'll immediately start modifying it. Well,
Yeah.
you could have bought one that was already modified and just taken
I
off the
bought the
parts that
most
you wanted to
pristine
take off,
stock
and
one ever. All right, it's time to rocket bunny it. God, fucking why didn't you buy one that already had a shitty body kit and tear that off? You
yeah,
know?
yeah, that's because even the two cars I have, well, yeah, I mean, the Miata is stock, and I'm keeping it stock. The RX-7 is stock, and the only things I'm doing to it are literally
Reliability
just
upgrades.
reliability upgrades and changing out what already was changed out,
Yeah,
like the shift knob, the head unit. All of that's already aftermarket right now. I want to change out with
yeah,
more time, like period correct one.
yeah. It was more aesthetically
But
pleasing than the big
yeah,
silver early 2000s, Panasonic?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. God, those ended up in everything because silver shit was cool in the early 2000s.
Yeah. So that's the thing is like if you're gonna buy something, especially for that much money,
Yeah.
it,
If you're gonna ruin it anyway, start with something pre-ruined. Don't start with something immaculate.
plus
You know,
plus usually you can talk the person down, be like, look, man,
Uh,
how many people are in the market for
this thing is a basket case,
heavily
and I'm
modified?
pretty sure it was on fire at one point.
Yeah,
I did
like
that with the Trans Am. The Trans Am actually was on fire at one point. Like the paint is all burnt on one side of it. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
well, I'm gonna paint it anyway.
yeah, exactly. So no need to go and mess up a a really nice
Yeah. I bought all my projects cheap, and for what I paid for them, they're all remarkably good. You know, mechanically. Like, I'm like, well,
But I mean, hell,
Porsche
even if
probably
you
is.
do, even if you do spend a lot of money, like I spent 20 some grand on the GTO. That apparently, before I bought it, they had been running it without oil because it just destroyed the crankshaft. Because when I changed oil out, it was fine, and then I had oil for the month I had it before I sold it. So like, even if you spend a ton of money on something, it doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, you and it, bring a trailer and to a lesser extent cars and bids and stuff like Barrett Jackson and Mika. I think I've got everybody just seeing all this dollar sign shit as cars as investments. Like, listen, there's some rules with cars. Don't modify the bank's car.
Yeah,
Mods don't add to resale value. They hurt it.
they usually detract from it because if someone wants to
Yeah,
fix it, they have to spend that much money putting it back.
you you do not make your money back on cars. You do, it's incredibly rare that you make your money back on a car. I've lost money on every car I've ever owned, and I'm
Yeah,
fine with
yeah,
that because I love cars. That's the
yeah.
cost of doing
It's
that's the cost of doing business. The cost of ownership, the cost of being in the car hobby is you're gonna lose money. That's okay. It's what you
yeah.
get out of
It's
that that it matters. And I love cars, so I don't care. But yeah, yeah.
and every car you own is usually an experience.
It's a
Sometimes good, sometimes
it's a
bad.
depreciating asset no matter what it is, and no
Yeah,
matter what you do with it.
there's
Oh, we
very
didn't
few
drive it. We just
cars.
let it sit. Everything went bad. Now we got to pay. Okay, well, you're losing money. Like, oh, we drove it and we kept it good. Oh, you put miles on it. You know, it's not worth money now. Like, well, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. So just do what you want to do anyway, and
Yeah,
but don't expect someone to pick up your expense on the back end when you go to sell that. That's not how this works. It's not.
no, you're gonna lose money. But it's okay. Like
Yeah.
even the cars that we're gonna build, I don't expect to make a lot of money if we ever sell them, but that's okay because
Yeah, I don't really either.
I
I mean,
I want to make them because I think they'd be neat.
it just above profitable, just enough to
Yeah.
continue doing what we're doing. I'm not trying to get rich doing this.
No,
I have
no,
no hopes that we will.
no. Like I'm okay with because this really is my main hobby.
This is gonna be my
So
life, man.
yeah, so it'll be expensive, but that's
Mhm.
kind of the fun of it.
Oh yeah.
We'll make it as cheap as we can. That way, if anybody wants to emulate us, they can do that.
I think we're gonna
Some
make
things
it
you
as
can't.
cheap as we can, mostly just because the price some people pay for shit fucking growing up poor. I mean, the cost some people pay for shit fucking amazes me.
Yeah,
You know, I'm like, you paid what for that, motherfucker? That's a house. That's a whole
yeah,
ass house.
yeah,
Not even
yeah.
like, oh,
That's the
that's a 30-year mortgage. Like, no, that's straight cash. I bought a house. Like, that's what the fuck. I don't know.
yeah. That's I mean that kind of goes into how expensive new cars are. But we've talked about that in like
Oh
they're,
yeah, no. New
they're
new car. I'm never buying one of those.
they've really the market's just fucked. Everything about new cars has
Everything's
just
fucked.
been
We live in
ruined.
interesting times.
So,
All right, bud. Well,
but
that's pretty much all I
yeah,
had.
yeah, that was pretty much all I had. I think that's good.
All right.
But
Well, we will
yeah, we'll pick this
see
up.
all 10 or 11 of you again at some point.
Yeah,
Should
probably sometime in
should know
December when
by
I get
now
back
there's
from
no
Germany.
regularity to these uploads or when we record them.
Yeah,
We're
it'll
recording
get
this
up.
on November 23rd. I don't know when it'll get uploaded.
We'll
Probably
figure it out
tomorrow,
eventually.
but who knows?
Hopefully.
All right, anyway. Bye, gozaimasu.
Oh, bio was like almost